Well, thank you, Michelle, and good day, everybody. I'm really glad to be here today to be able to share this important tool with you that's really going to revolutionize the way that you approach your sales and marketing. So I manage a business incubator for Central Alberta. It's called Catapult Entrepreneurs. And in that program, we help new entrepreneurs take their business from idea to real. So we support them with their product or service development, and we help them develop their business, and we help them overcome any obstacles that they have in getting their business through to success. Starting a business can be risky, and it can be a lonely journey, and so our job is to really bring a support network around the entrepreneur and push them through to success. And I also own and operate Danny Clue Consulting, and that is a consulting practice where I do organizational development. It's a bunch of 50-cent words. That means that I help organizations, municipalities, and businesses do all the important but boring stuff like strategic planning, communication strategy, needs assessment, and those sorts of things.
That is so exciting. So Danielle, tell us a little bit about the engagement funnel.
Sure. So the engagement funnel is a tool that I learned when I was doing community development that was talking about how we actually get past our conventional way of looking at how we get customers and how we keep customers. So when we're getting customers, we think, well, I just need to find new customers and go to where they are and tell them the message. And as soon as they find out about me, they're all going to want to buy from me. And so we think it's about reach, and it's just about expanding my reach and finding new markets and finding new customers and just getting out there. And if only people knew about my product or service, surely they would all want to buy it. And that is a traditional way of approaching sales that's really focused on me and what I need as the business owner, right? So all my thinking is about I need sales, I need customers, I want to get more money, I need my business to be strong and successful. So it's all based on what I need. And really, in this day and age, where we've really had strong marketing and the world of marketing has evolved over the last century to where people are really savvy in terms of marketing, and they're also inundated with advertising and marketing and sales messages. People are literally paying money to block your ads, to record their television shows, to be able to skip the commercials. People do not want to be advertised to anymore. They don't want that broadcast messaging. And you're going to spend a lot of money trying to expand your reach, and your customers are going to spend time and money trying to find ways to block you from reaching them. So it's not effective. So we want to move the conversation away from reach and reframe the conversation to being about engagement. So how do I build relationships with my customers in a way that that values and implements the three foundational pieces of business? I don't care what your business is. There's three things that are the foundation of all business, and that's know, like, trust. I want to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to know what kind of person you are, what kind of business you're operating, what your values are in your business. I need to like you, and then I will consider trusting you with my business. So engagement becomes super important in terms of actually having a sustainable, strong, stable business that grows because of organic relationships where people are in relationship with you. So it's a very relational way of approaching your marketing, and it requires a lot of sort of retooling and recalibrating maybe some of your marketing and sales practices right now. But in terms of being effective for your business, it's much more effective. So I can go ahead and draw the funnel now if you like. So let's look at the engagement funnel. So I am a trainer, not an artist. Putting that out there right now. This is going to be a crude drawing, but you're going to get, and I'm left-handed. So you get all of the wonderful, wonderful pieces of my artwork and my handwriting. All right. So these are sort of the 5 levels of engagement, and we're going to name each one of these levels. Now you can change these names. They don't have to be named as I name them, but basically I'm going to provide a name to each level of the funnel, and then I'm going to describe what that is. Business, they've really never heard of you. They maybe don't typically buy your products. They're not in the market for your products. They don't know about you, and they don't care about you. Okay, so then the second level would be called onlookers. So onlookers would be people who they might have heard of you or heard of the type of product or service that you offer, and they're aware of it, but they also don't care. So they don't buy, even if they kind of know that they have a problem, or someday they've thought about, you know, doing whatever it is that your product or service is, but they in general, they don't care. They are not your customers. Then the next level would be supporters. So supporters would be people that do know about you, do care about you, they like what you offer, they like your business, they like you, they believe in your message, they've probably bought from you at least once, if not more than once. And if somebody asks them, hey, can you recommend a good plumber to me? You might be at least one of the plumbers that they would recommend to somebody else. But certainly you are towards the front of their minds, and they are customers, maybe not super duper loyal customers, but they do buy from you from time to time. The next level would be friends. So friends would be these are your hardcore customers. If you have a dress shop, let's say, they are the people that are coming in at least once a month or once every couple of months. They buy, they know about the sales, they comment on your posts on Facebook, they greet you by name when they come into the store, you greet them by name, you know about their lives, they know about your lives. You have a rock solid relationship with these people. They are your loyal customers. And so then this bottom level, now some people will refer to this as raving fans. I typically call this level agents. So this is your mom, this is you, this is other people who work in your business, the people who are in the trenches with you trying to make your business a success. So anybody who has an active part in actually, they care so much about the success of your business that they actively work to promote you at every turn, and they are either invested or at least personally, emotionally invested in you being sustainable and successful. So these are the 5 levels, okay? So you're here, you're in the agent level as the business owner. So when you have that framework of thinking about it in terms of reach, and I just need to expand my reach, and I just need to find new customers, and I just need to get the word out. And we hear that a lot when people are in marketing sessions. We say, what's your biggest obstacle in marketing? They say, well, I just feel like I don't do a good job of getting the word out. I need to get the word out. And really, if you're just thinking that you're going to increase sales a lot by just getting the word out, that's not going to be an effective way of building a strong business. You might increase your sales in a temporary fashion to some degree, but it isn't going to be that upward trajectory of here's my loyal customer base. So you want to reframe it over to how I'm going to engage. So when you're over in the, I just need to get the word out, new people need to know about me, I need to find ways to find new people. You're going to spend a lot of your time and energy and your money on advertising and marketing to these two levels, because they're not your customers right now, and you want them to be your customers, so you're trying to find ways to reach them, right? So typically businesses will spend a good 80 to 90% of their marketing and advertising efforts trying to reach the people that aren't their customers right now. The thing that's ineffective about that, so if you've ever done that and you've invested significant amounts of money in particular, and time and effort and energy in trying to reach those audiences, it's an exercise in frustration, isn't it? So I'm sure we've all seen small business owners who start to get angry, and they start to have a really negative view towards their customers, because they're like, I am trying so hard to reach you. Why won't you care? Why don't you care? You need my product. Why won't you buy it? And so they start to get angry at their customers. And as soon as you flip yourself into that angry, negative headspace where you're frustrated with your non-customers, you start to become frustrated with your customers. And you start to have a negative lens for the people who are actually buying or could potentially buy your product or service. So it's not a winning strategy. You'll actually end up shooting yourself in the foot if you engage in that kind of strategy. The principle you need to know is that 80% of business growth comes from existing business. 80% of business growth comes from existing business. So these folks here, these two levels, that is where your biggest potential for growing your business exists. What happens when you spend 80% of your time here and only 20% of your time here, or even more time up here and less time down here, is that not only do you not get the customer you don't have, you lose the customer that you have, because you haven't cared for them, you haven't given them value, you haven't engaged with them in a meaningful way. They want to feel important, they want to feel like the money they spent in your business matters, and that you value and appreciate them as customers. So when you spend your time up here, you actually create a hole in your funnel, and all of your customers start falling out. People start falling out of the funnel. So now the funnel's empty. And you feel like, I spent all this time and energy on all this advertising, and I spent so much money on this advertising, and instead of having it work, I lost all my customers. I'm worse off than I was before. So we want to apply the 80-20 rule. You still want to give these guys 20% of your attention. 20%, 80%. There are businesses, believe it or not, where they have people on staff whose only job is customer engagement, is thanking their customers, not selling to them, just thanking them, just finding ways to check in with them, be in relationship with them, make sure that they're enjoying their product, and thank them for your business. Those businesses have a rock solid strategy for how to grow this base, because I am going to feel like I matter to you. I'm going to feel like you really care about me. And when I feel that way, I want to support you more. And not only that, but these folks will become your brand ambassadors and they will go, and the law of gravity will work. They will go get these people and pull them down through the funnel. So these folks can be reached, but rather than spending a lot of time and money, get these folks to go get these folks. And that word of mouth piece and personal experience piece works way more effectively than all of the broadcast advertising that you can do. You should also do a lot of work in terms of researching who these folks are. What do they care about? What matters to them? What are their behaviors, their habits in terms of what they buy, so that you can increase the value to them, but also so that you can ensure that you're talking to them, that you're messaging on your social media, you're messaging in your advertising, that when you send out emails to your customers, that you're actually talking to these folks. I can't tell you the number of times when I have hit, like, just waiting for the ad to be ready so I can skip it, because I've had to endure it for 5 agonizing seconds waiting to be able to skip the ad, because they weren't talking to me. Now, they might have done a whole bunch of demographic stuff and promoted their ad and boosted their ad, and somehow I landed in those demographics, but they weren't talking to me. So I just wanted to skip their ad. So you can be much more effective when you actually learn about your audiences and find ways to craft your messaging specifically to those audiences, and find ways to serve them in a real value-added way. So it becomes much, much more effective. You can also use your analytics on your social media to look at your engagement analytics rather than your reach analytics. So a lot of people in their social media advertising, they're looking at their reach. How many likes did I get? How many people saw this ad? How many people clicked through on it? Blah, blah, blah. The click through and the commenting and the actual people that go to your website and go through more than one page or stay on longer than 3 seconds or whatever, those are folks that matter. That's engagement. So even online, you can do engagement, but it has to be done in a really thoughtful, proactive, meaningful way. It's just not effective to just throw messaging out there and use the buckshot approach and hope that you'll reach people. So I like to talk about it in terms of if I went to a networking event. So I wouldn't walk in the door and start shouting at everybody in the room, "Hey, I'm from Catapult Entrepreneurs and we help businesses," and everybody would just be like, who is that and what is she doing, right? Like, it would actually turn people off, and people would typically not engage with you, right? That's exactly what advertising can be like when you're not talking to your audience, because you haven't taken the time to know them. You haven't built any relationship with them. You don't know what they care about. You're very invested in yourself and your objectives, not them, and what they might need and how you can add value to them. So really think about how you're approaching your marketing and advertising, and think about the engagement funnel. Think about these 2 groups here, your supporters and your friends, how you can convert your supporters into your friends and help them to go and get new customers for you, and expand your business base by using that principle of that 80% of business growth coming from people that already know you, like you, are in your corner. It takes all of the guesswork out, and it also removes a lot of that frustration of just, I'm spending a lot of money, but it's all to unknown audiences, and I don't know if I'm hitting anybody or not. So it's a very strong tool that I recommend that you use in the way that you approach your marketing. The common questions that I get from entrepreneurs is, well, I'm just starting my business. I don't have supporters and I don't have any customers yet. So how am I going to build my business on these client bases that I don't even have those client bases yet. What am I going to do about that? Well, that is why you need to do your market research before you start your business. Market research is going to tell you who are my customers, where are my customers, what are their preferences, their behaviors, their thoughts, their feelings, and where will I find them and what will they pay. So I'm going to say that 95% of startups don't do market research. And that of the 5% that do market research, probably 4% of them aren't doing market research effectively. You really, really need to invest in some training around how to do proper market research, secondary and primary. And those are terms that you're probably like, what? What does all that mean, right? Get yourself into a workshop, take some training on how to do market research, and engage and invest in market research before you start down the road of getting your business, because what you think you know who your customers are, you think you know where they are, you think you know how to reach them, but when you do the right research and you do it right, you'll actually find that you could be very surprised about what their habits are. And once your market research tells you, here's my audience, here's how I reach them, here's what they care about, here's their pain points and their problems and what they go through in their lives and why they're looking for my solution, I can craft my solution to actually be the right solution for customers based on evidence, based on validated research. And I can also craft my messaging and my marketing efforts to those people. Again, going back to that bit where I talked about how I'm waiting to be able to skip that ad because you're not talking to me. There are times when I'm ready, I'm hovering over the button to click so I can skip that ad, and then I go, what? Wait a minute, because something that they said resonated with me and they started talking to me, right? So really be thinking about market research. If you're in startup mode and you haven't started your business yet, the way to find these audiences is to do your market research.